Hi class, week 4, welcome to it. Quick rundown of what's going on this week and what to do. So we have now studied and established what culture is. We have now studied and established what art is. In an art and culture class, of course, that is some foundational reading that we had to do. And everything we do from here on out is going to be based on those readings. So if you think back to the two foundational readings on culture and art, you're going to remember that power has a lot to do with how culture is organized and how art is perceived and made. So power is a theme that we're going to be exploring throughout this course. We're going to think about how power organizes society in terms of race and gender, and how these themes show up in art. So, studied culture, studied art, and now we're moving on to power itself. So this week is dedicated to power and how power shows up in various types of art, and how power dynamics show up in different types of art. So for this week, you have one longer reading that is to be found in the Files tab. Although this is a long reading, you do not have to read all of it. It is the one about Barack Obama's political campaign and how art was used in it. I'd like you to read the introduction to understand the main points of the reading, and then I would like you to skim the rest of the reading, but pay very close attention to each of the election campaign images that show up throughout the reading. So really, you're reading the introduction and then skimming the rest, but paying really close attention to the images. It's the images that are going to be important in your discussion for this week. The second reading is a link that is found in the syllabus itself. So go to the syllabus and you'll find a link to a reading. It's a news article, so click on it and read it. And it's about Eastern art. It's about how people in the West have perceived Eastern art. Because obviously there's been, through colonialism, there has been this huge power dynamic and power differential between Eastern and Western societies. So we're going to think about how the West has thought about and encountered Eastern art. But it's a pretty quick news article, so do read the entirety of that. First reading on Barack Obama, read the intro. Look closely at the images. Second reading, read the whole thing because it's a short news article. Once you're done with all of those, please go to our discussion board and answer the questions thoroughly. There are points attached to each part of the questions. It's a multi-part discussion, right? So make sure that you address and answer each part of the question thoroughly. I've also included a little 2-minute video about how art intersects with power in the syllabus, so you can go click on that. I think it's a great video that explains the relationship between art and power. So that's what we're doing. That's a mandatory stuff for this week. If anybody is interested in extra credit, because you foresee that, I don't know, maybe you want to just have a few extra credit points reserved in case something happens with the midterm or the final, or you miss an assignment or something. Your first extra credit opportunity is coming up this week. The extra credit will be due by 11:59 p.m. this Friday, and it can be found again in the syllabus. Go to the reading schedule for our week, and it's going to be listed in green. So all of the extra credit opportunities appear on the syllabus in green. This week's extra credit just has you read an article about architecture and how when we design and build spaces, they actually are built with our emotions in mind. Places are built in ways that affect the way that we behave, that affect the way that we feel when we're in them. So read that news article, and then I can give you some extra credit points for your reflection based on that. Again, please visit the syllabus for a detailed step-by-step instruction for what to read this week, what to do this week, as well as the extra credit opportunity. Okay, see you next week.